Welcome to a very different episode of Wrap It Up. My name is Nonkazimulo Gindi. So this one is all about hashtag Sona 2020. What rubbish, what nonsense, what garbage, what scam was that? I mean, 97 minutes before the president could speak because of one political party. Yes, they were raising valid points. Yes, they were making points that, make you think and critique them. But that was not the platform, you understand? I mean, at first they were saying that former President F.W. de Klerk must get out of the house and leave the house because he was the last president of the apartheid regime. Next thing, they were asking for Pravin Gordhan to leave, and they did this repeatedly. The next thing we knew, the Member of Parliament, Dennis Bloem, left the house. The COPE member, he left the house, and there were points of order that were being raised, repeating the same thing. And I felt, but these speakers, why are they giving these people the opportunity to raise their points of order? Because they are raising the same and monotonous thing. It was really, really annoying. It was so annoying. 97 minutes. On top of that, EFF ended up leaving the house. They were being interviewed by journalists and other media houses outside. 25 minutes inside the parliament. Nothing was happening. That was terrible. I was wondering, why are we waiting? Yes, let them continue with those interviews outside. We'll see them in the next news bulletin, whatever. But why are we waiting 25 minutes? For what? For what? Like, I feel like if those speakers did not give the point of orders to all those people, especially the EFF members, because it was just them, I mean, we could have saved a lot of time. To interrupt the president of the nation like that, it was really bad. I was actually feeling sorry at some point. But hey, here is what I liked from the State of the Nation address, just to address a few things. Number one, that sex offenders are going to be registered in the National Register. I'm so happy about that. It's time that gender-based violence is spoken against and action is taken. So they are going to be registered. And while you're at it, Mr. President, please make sure that we know the faces of these offenders. We must know them so that they don't repeat this horrendous crimes. They don't do these horrendous crimes anymore. So while you're at it, we want the name with the face. Big up to you for that. Another thing is that he's funding students' accommodation worth more than 64 billion rand. So that's another great one to look out for. Another thing that I liked is that he's going to be funding the tourism industry and securing measures, security measures for tourists, because we need tourists. The economy of the country is at stake. So that's another great one that I saw, which he raised. However, I'm concerned that he said that load shedding is something that's going to continue in the country. I mean, for the next 18 months, like, that's a long time. So I think we must brace ourselves since winter is around the corner. Like, get used to it. Already, I think we are somehow getting there as it is summer. It's quite something, but something has to be done. What about tourists that come into the country and they experience all these repetitive load shedding sagas? It's really not nice. I'm also concerned about the 12 languages, the addition of the language. Why, instead of dealing with those languages, can't we deal with the crisis at hand? Students are protesting against, the impediments in the education system. I mean, why can't we work around how to fund students, how to make sure that their historical debt is done something about, so that they can register and continue with their studies? I mean, really, there are so many other bigger problems to deal with. Here is unemployment. Okay, it's good that it's going to create other opportunities for young people and whatnot. It's a good thing that we saw that the Mfuleni region is now going to have a university. That's good, that's great, but let's deal with what's most important. The country's students are not at peace, and as far as giving problems to students, why can't we address such matters? So yeah, those are just some of the things that I feel that the government should have done better on, and we hope that he's going to fulfill all these things. I love this year's Sona because it's full of action. It's full of action. It's not just those promises, but there are actually certain steps that are in place, certain people that are on standby, ready to work, which is a good thing. I also want to address this rubbish that we heard. I'm sorry to call it rubbish, but it is. No, I'm not sorry. It's rubbish. The former president, F.W. de Klerk, saying that apartheid was not a crime against humanity. How can you say that? EFF called for him, as well as Prince KB called for him to actually have his, the Nobel Peace Prize revoked from him. And the foundation said no, they can't do it. They cannot get the awardees for their rewards or awards to be revoked from them. So which is a sad one, because this was going to be a lesson. And I also feel that FW de Klerk is, or rather apologized because he was feeling guilty. If EFF didn't call him out to actually apologize for what he said, I don't think he would have apologized. He apologized because he was under pressure. Because remember, it's not only the EFF, Prince KB is also against him. Also, the Desmond Tutu Foundation, they also called him to order to apologize for saying such a statement. I mean, the apartheid regime was brutal. It was bad. It was bitter. It has left scars. It is still a continuing pandemic in South Africa. Racism is still an issue even up to this day. How can you say that apartheid was not a crime against humanity? It was crime in every way. It was crime in every word possible, in every angle that you can think of. So for him to say that, it really made me to think that he's hating democracy. He's hating the era that we are in, because he thinks that it was not a crime. Wow, it's a crime. What he said is a crime. And that's what I think about the whole hashtag SONA address of the president, as well as the SONA debate. And I'm going to bring you developing stories from all that you have heard. Now that's a wrap up for all that I had for you on hashtag SONA 2020. I'll be back again in the next week. Shop.